Tim and Sarah met serendipitously in 2019. Though they were worlds apart, crossing generations, genders, and what felt like galaxies, they were aligned in vision, mission, and purpose. Together, they sensed a powerful rebirth was on the horizon, which was indeed triggered by the global shifts of the pandemic. From in-person workshops to Facebook Lives and clubhouses, they've always embraced new ways to connect and inspire. Now they present their latest creation, the Jump Point Podcast. Welcome to the journey.
Am I on the right track? That's what I remember when I came through catching trains and couldn't speak any of the languages. Kind of stumbling around, especially if there's nobody there.
Yeah, there's
just nobody.
no one here.
Yeah.
We're a little early because we didn't really know the train times.
But, I mean, that's fine. Fantastic way of looking at it.
Tim just had a realization, or another way of looking at what happened with his life story.
Well, my life...
Oh.
Don't understand a word of it. And that's kind of how I was when I was young. And it's really a fantastic opportunity that I'm totally embracing right now, is sitting in this train station. There's no one else. You're here, which is fantastic, but no one else, trying to figure out where to go, which way I'm going. That's what I traveled when I was 19. And then when I was 16, I came over to Yugoslavia with a band. And we toured, and we did radio, TV, interviews, festivals. We did all kinds of stuff. Like, we were rock stars. The crowd, like the young women running around, it was like crazy. And so that got me on the music thing. Then we played for high schools when I was 17, then 18. And my plan was, okay, I'm going to go off and I'm going to actually do the music thing. And in Nashville with a friend, the same friend that he's a music teacher, had set me up with the band that went over to Yugoslavia. He set me up with this guy who was then, we were both going to go down to Nashville. He was an awesome guitarist as well. And it's interesting because I'm realizing now that I had decided before I went to Europe on backpacking at 19, I decided, okay, you know what? Take one for the team and then show the example for the family, because my mom and dad are saying to me, yes, you should go and get an education and then do what you want. And I was,
well, that's what you were going to go to Nashville. They sat you down and said,
yeah, after I come back from, before I went touring. And so they sat me down. So after sitting me down, it says, okay, I'll go to Waterloo, but I'm freaking going backpacking across Europe before I actually go into, and what I'm now recognizing was the Matrix. And I knew that that's what I was doing. Matrix wasn't a term, wasn't a concept.
But you called it like a prison.
Yeah, I was just going to go into my little prison cell and move and do my time. And then get the education. And it ended up being 5 years of university. I got three designations. And then went down to, Toronto and on Bay Street and worked there, and, just started dying really, really quickly, and then moved into advertising, even dying then. Marriage blew up, everything blew up, and then whoosh, I was off trying to actually recreate a life at age, 35 or something like that. And here we are all of these years later, and I feel like I have now stepped out of the Matrix. And here I am. Boof. And there is one particular state that Neo is in the Matrix, where he actually he's sitting in a bus terminal, or not bus terminal, a train station, and he meets this guy who he actually talks to and helps him actually figure out whether he's going to go back into the world or he's going to actually move on and be dead and whatever. And I'm just realizing there was no one else in the train station. It was underground. This is actually above ground, but that very much is what actually triggered this memory, saying, okay, I am now officially out of the Matrix. And I'm very, very thrilled. And it's so tangible. Like, it feels, I was saying the last few days, it just feels so tangible. Like in the Matrix, they go through these, transformations or something, when they actually go in, they do the telephone and they actually move into more energy. That's what it feels like. It feels everything is just so fluid. My arms, my legs, my face, my head, everything is just, and that's been the case the last 3 days, just sitting by the beach. I go, wow, I'm really having an experience of being the same matter that is that building or that water or the train. So this is pretty epic for Tim.
Love it. Yeah, I'm not having the same response, but I am in a space where like I get to be the privileged one to capture your flowering.
Yeah.
And because I have the skill with video and storytelling, I get to be the one to like capture your story and document it and share it.
Yeah.
Because how resonant is it to be getting out of the matrix, especially for someone in your generation?
Yes, to
who went
consciously
so
know
deeply into
that
the matrix.
Exactly, that I went into the matrix, which
Yeah.
was not the concept or term I used, but that's certainly where I knew I was going.
Mm-hmm.
As the eldest and da 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 da, and that was my thing. And I go, all right, at this point, I'm good with that. Like I can understand that was necessary, and that's what I signed up for. And all that said, that was freaking just life sucking. It was just unbelievable.
Yeah, and so now we came here with the intention to start our podcast, the Jump Point podcast.
Yes.
Which we also had the intention of writing a book, which we're thinking of also calling The Jump Point.
Yeah.
And you are literally experiencing your greatest jump point.
Yeah, it's a jump point phenomena. I mean, the total, like I've been saying, and I'm practiced in understanding energy and getting disoriented and everything else. And this is such a disorientation. It's just wild.
Yeah.
I'm really glad I have skills to understand that I'm not having a heart attack or seizure or I'm going mentally insane. This is just my body unwinding with all this emotion that I have been holding on, trying to get through the matrix and get to some place where my life made more sense. And I wasn't sure where the hell that was or what that was. And I thought I had found it a couple times and then it didn't really flower, to use your word.
Yeah, well, just because we came out of the Gene Key 15, which is fluorescence.
Yes.
And it's about flowering. And I think my jump point was with the RV like a year ago.
Right, yes.
Even more than a year ago, like buying the RV. And then when we were in Tofino, I was grateful that I had the energy management skills because my physical heart felt like it was like, if I didn't know or have the skills that I had, I thought, you know what, I might need to go to the emergency room because I think I'm having a heart attack.
Well, even on that trip, we had to go see the doctor because your ear went.
Oh, before the RV.
Before the RV.
Before the RV. But I mean, we had purchased the RV.
Yeah.
It was sitting in the driveway, and then it was winter, so we went to Costa Rica, and we did have to see the doctor because my ear was plugged for like weeks and weeks, and we still had
the whole time we were there.
We still had weeks to go, and he was like, "Oh yeah, it's fine." So then that allowed me to relax because I had never had anything like that before. So I was like, did something happen on the plane? Like, did I damage my ears? Do I have hearing loss? And so, yeah, it was confirmed that, it's just earwax plugged in the ear.
But it's worthwhile. And I was just talking about it in this context that when people are going through, when I'm going through, when you're going through, we're like seasoned understanding this.
Yeah.
Physically go through process of
letting
go of all kinds of stuff in the body.
The
kicks
body,
up a storm.
Yeah, the body.
And if you're not conscious, I'm trying to, because there's been a couple of people that says, given what you sound like you're going through, you should go see a doctor.
Yeah, you should go see the doctor. And then the doctor's like, oh, well, it sounds like you have this, 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 and this. And
there's all kinds of drugs and all kinds of things to be able to help. I've got a fantastic doctor. She would never say that, but pretty much anybody and everybody else, as a doctor or have had those kinds of experiences, that's where you get steered.
Yeah, exactly. So
so navigating the matrix,
exiting the matrix
is wild. Exiting the matrix is just as wild, maybe even wilder. The freedom is just
well, it's like
so tangible.
Neo, he sees reality for what it is, like just this white room, and anything can manifest in a second, and he literally vomits.
Yes,
right. Literally vomits. Like,
yeah, the body can't cope.
Yeah, the body has to go through a metamorphosis.
Yeah, that's the butterfly.
Okay, we are on the train. We're just continuing our chat.
Tim's falling apart again.
But again, I get to be the one to tell Tim's story in real time. But part of it's in real time on, social media through the stories and everything. But part of it is, a year later. So because I'm just allowing myself to edit and tell this story when it flows with our life. So the we shift stuff is a year later, and it's just a great joy to be editing that for just the self-reflective practice alone has been so powerful for both of
Oh
us,
my God, yes.
individually and then as a
Watching the back,
partnership.
like the self-reflective, watching the back a number of times and adding this, adding that, and I get like
Yeah.
it's just whoa,
Yes.
powerful, like crazy powerful.
Yeah, and so we're saying like I'm creating the context, and Tim is providing the content, the rich content, because your story is so powerful at your age and your generation as a boomer to be exiting the matrix. Like for my generation, I went into the matrix, but then quickly left. Like I was only in there for like 5 years, and I've been out of the matrix for a good 15 or more years.
I thought I was under the matrix, but I'm realizing now I stepped in at 19 and I'm stepping out at 65. Whatever the difference is, that's a big number of being in the freaking matrix. And during the time in the matrix, I created the context that it helped
And
you
your
understand.
context helped me when I was like going through a massive rebirth.
This is what we help clients do: is help them go through stages of degrees of freedom.
And I understood your context because I also used it with other clients. But just when you're in it yourself, you get turned upside down and you forget, where your head is and where your arse is.
Totally.
So I was able to now use Tim's language and help him
and reach me
and keep him oriented through obviously the death and the trauma of watching your wife struggle and then die, and then to also be there for her too, and for both of you, and make it as peaceful as a transition as possible. And
being really, really conscious, because she was familiar with the context as well, because we help clients with it. So it was wild.
And just the story of that is just timeless. So that's why taking the time to share it is
critical,
appropriate and critical.
and I so appreciate it.